Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Jennelle's RV build, fiberglass and destruction. So the first thing I did was grab my mallet and crowbar to chip away at the rusting backing plates that were holding my roof rack. And then I started to chip away at the caulking around the diamond plating that the roof rack was attached to. I thought removing the roof rack would only take me like an hour, but it took me a couple days to mallet crowbars under the diamond plating. That adhesive was no joke. And now I own 7 3-foot crowbars, so hit me up if you want one. Then I proceeded to grind all of the construction adhesive and silicone caulking. Never use silicone caulking, it is so annoying. Anyways, I spent the entire day grinding and sanding the roof to make sure all the adhesive was removed. This water intake port and this compartment door are donezo. I have no use for them anymore and my electrical system is going to be on this side of the RV, so I wanted to make sure that there was no possible way for water to get in there. So I just cut through the fiberglass with a grinder and then I sanded the edges and a little bit of the perimeter to prep for fiberglassing. After that, I moved to the back of the vehicle and pushed out this window. I honestly barely touched it and it just slid right off. I used a Dremel and a grinder to cut out the edges, and then I removed this vent that was originally back there for the stovetop. Then I spontaneously decided to remove more windows because why not? These were double paned and not as easy to remove as the first window, so I just removed one and called it a day. I learned quickly from sanding and cutting through all this fiberglass that fiberglass is so itchy. So here's me finally wearing the proper attire. After quickly contemplating, I decided that instead of removing these double paned windows from their concave form, I should just cut them out so I can make everything flush. Very much impulsive, very much no regrets. Honestly, I think I was possessed by Bob the Builder himself because I don't know why I was so confident with the decision to take out chunks of my wall. But anyways, this is me removing the vent where the propane tank used to be, and then I removed the rusty backing plates to my spare tire. Decided to do a little vacuuming because fiberglass in your lungs is not cute. As you can see, I'm super excited to fiberglass, so I cut up some epoxy compatible chopped strand mat into pieces that gradually got bigger. I did 6 layers, and then I gorilla taped a metal backing plate to the exterior. I brushed on some mold release and let that sit for an hour. Once that cured, I mixed up my 2-part epoxy resin and kind of just went for it. Before you fiberglass fanatics come for me, this is literally my first time fiberglassing. I was originally gonna hire someone, but I watched one YouTube video and got a little cocky. Ta-da! So I let that cure overnight and the next day I removed the backing plate and honestly, I wasn't mad at it. Not pretty, but not too shabby. So I was feeling pretty confident about doing the other hole now that I kinda understood the material better, but boy did I frick up. As you can see here, I look defeated. I was so focused on getting it perfect that I wasn't working fast enough and my resin was curing, leaving a bunch of air bubbles. But I just let it cure and hoped for the best. But yeah, it was not good. There was a billion air bubbles and it was also like not flush with the RV at all. So ultimately I just decided to cut it out and try again. Here we go. Not as enthusiastic, but still determined. Also, I waited until 2 a.m. to fiberglass so that it was cold outside so the resin wouldn't cure as fast. This round, I was feeling pretty good. I was playing some music, got in the zone, and I felt pretty confident in my work. The next day, I was super anxious for the reveal, and it turned out way better than the first go. Here's a comparison. I didn't get fiberglass in some of the scenes, so I roughed up the edges on both panels, pulled some chop mat into some pieces, and then glassed them into the seams. I don't know if that's like allowed, but I did it anyway. Anyway, so the next day I cleaned up the excess and spent the entire day grinding and sanding, grinding and sanding. Also, I was extremely sick this day and it was 100 degrees. So there was definitely sweat in that Tyvek suit and snot in that 3M mask, in case you were wondering. Then I mixed up some fairing, which is basically just thickened epoxy that you smooth over your fiberglass work to fill in holes and hollows. I made mine pretty thick, and I applied this generously because I wanted to make sure that the fiberglass was flush with the rest of the body. This part was so satisfying. Definitely went a little overkill with the fairing, which means a lot of sanding, but sanding is my middle name now. Once that cured, I sanded it down, and then I realized that the bigger panel was still not flush. So I grinded it down ever so slightly, and it really wasn't that off, but I wanted to make sure that it was as close to perfect as possible before it got painted over. My noodle arms were so tired. I was literally grinding and sanding for 6 hours straight, so I decided to do something else and remove some stickers around the RV. The next morning, I slapped on another coat of fairing onto the fiberglass since I grinded into it the day before. So I made this batch super thick and applied it lightly because 1, the first coat actually did a pretty good job, and 2, the thicker it is, the easier it is to sand. After a few more hours of sanding and petting my RV, I was finally satisfied with the finished product. And that is a wrap, folks. Hello. Long time no see, my dudes. I wanted to explain to you guys why I've been absent for so long, and I've tried to film this 10 times, and I just sounded like I was complaining about my life. So that is what we're not gonna do. I'm gonna say that I have not been okay for the past 2 months. I've been sad and sick, but I'm back, baby. I'm back, and I'm great, better than ever. See? I'm fine. Anyways, enough about me and my woes. Let's talk about my RV, because that is why you're here, right? I don't know why I sat down. Let's stand up again. As you saw in this episode, I cut out X, Y, and Z. And you might be wondering, why did you do that, Jennelle? Why did you cut out like 1/8 of your RV when you bought this RV fully stocked and you already ripped everything out? Like, what was the point of that?
I regret nothing!
Since I already ripped out everything, I just want to make it perfect, you know? I was not planning on doing this. This was freestyled. This was improvised. This was not part of the plan whatsoever at all. My original plan, well, my original plan was to just build over the windows. But as you guys saw, this window literally just came out with like no effort at all. So, and I know the seals on all the windows were kind of whack. So then I decided that I just wanted to fiberglass everything flush. But then I had the bright idea to essentially turn this half of the RV into a cottage cabin. My inspiration is this cedar shingle siding. Say it with me now. Cedar shingle siding. It smells delicious. I'm still playing around with patterns and stuff. I have so many. But imagine this right here, right here, right here, until right here. And then this half is gonna be painted. I almost just told you what color I'm gonna paint it. It's a surprise, but it's gonna be a cute color. It's gonna be like, they actually are gonna kind of clash, but it's gonna be kind of fun. So, in order to attach my cedar shingle siding, I have to cut out the walls. Literally, I mean, I'm keeping the roof, but like from here, I'm gonna cut all of that out and then reframe the back half of the RV so that it's structural and that my cedar shingle sidings have something to attach to. And you might be wondering, Jennelle, how are you gonna do that? And I asked myself the same question for the past month and a half until last Tuesday, I had an idea. So you will see in the next episode, because now that I actually know what I'm doing, I can move forward. To be realsies, if I didn't decide to do cedar shingle siding, I would probably be at least like halfway done with the RV. But I regret nothing because it's gonna be epic. Oh, and this is where I really kicked myself in the cooter. Now that I'm taking down these walls, right? I can put my door anywhere. Literally, I can put my door wherever the heck I want. So my door could stay here like where it is, or it could be here or here or here or here or here. The reason I want to change my door is because the driver's side is this side, but my door is on this side. That's actually standard for most vehicles. My van is the same way. So then I was thinking, okay, I can just move the door onto this side. But then I was like, how sick would it be if the door was in the back? Like this, like so. Okay, so this is the back of the RV, and then this is my fiberglass bumper. It's not good. I was gonna replace it anyway. So I was thinking that when I replace it, I should get a bumper that's maybe about 10 inches longer, right? See where I'm going with this? 10 inches longer. And then it'll be a patio. What's the difference between a patio and a porch? I'm gonna say porch. Porch sounds more cottage core. So this is my porch, and it'll come out to here. There might be a little steppity step, and the door is gonna be right here. French doors, perhaps, with my cedar shingle siding. Hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, because I did that. Actually, I didn't. It's just in my head. But I will be doing that. And I'm in a particularly good mood this week because I got my van back from the shop after not having it for 2 months. I am no longer sick, and I figured out how to frame this in a way that is lightweight, that I can attach my cedar shingle siding to, and I'm confident in the structure. Because that was also a big thing, because I was like, I don't want to build a wall that's gonna fall off when I go over a speed bump. You know, that would not be ideal. But I'm trying to block the sun with my foot. There we go. Okay, so since I decided to put my front door in the back, that changed my entire layout. The layout that I've had since I bought the RV last year. Anyways, I thought it would be fun for us to play a little game. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna act out my layout, and you have to guess what is going where. Capiche? My bed is above you, and like I said, the door is right here. Action! Scene. Oh, you know, just chilling with my cedar shingles. My goal is to upload an episode at least once a week, and now that I know how to attach my cedar shingle siding, I think we'll be smooth sailing from here. I literally couldn't build anything inside the RV until I figured out what to do with the exterior, but now that I do, we're back on track. So once a week is the goal, if not every 2 weeks, but I will not disappear for 2 months again. That's not okay. However, I know a lot of you guys are really invested in this build series, so I am going to be doing daily vlogs on my Instagram stories. But anyways, as always, stay rad, dweebs.